cutting your band pieces, you would need to interface the outer part of the band, which is the main fabric. Once that is done, you then need to pin the main fabric and the pant right side facing each other. So if you have a seam at the center back of the band, you need to pin that, making sure it matches with the center back of the pant. Okay, so after pinning, I'll take it to my sewing machine and start sewing. There is a rule that says if you want your seam to mate, you should start your sewing on the most important part, which is where the joining is. So for me, I'll be starting my sewing from the center back because the band has got a joining and I want that joining to match perfectly with the joining on the center back of the pant. Okay, so now I'm just sewing with 1 centimeter seam allowance. I'll sew from the center back to the front and then turn the fabric and sew the rest of the remaining part from the center back to the other part, and watch how the seam is gonna mate seamlessly. Now watch how my seam matches seamlessly. So this is one rule you should add to your sewing rules. Okay, so now I'll place the other piece of the band piece right side facing this, and I'll also start my stitch from the center back, sew down to one side and sew the remaining part to the other side. Now I'll top stitch, pushing the seam allowance towards the lining piece, which is the piece without interfacing, and once this part is done, I will finish the raw edges of the lining part with folded bias. Now I'll fold the center front just like this. I'll sew, and after sewing I will check to see that it is sewn perfectly on the right side before trimming off the excess fabric. Before I start sewing the band from the right side, I will pin the band, making sure every part is sewn on the right position. So as you can see, I'm pinning the center back to the center back. I'll pin the side seam and also just pin around to hold the fabric together, because I'll be sewing on the right side of the pant. Now I'll start sewing as close as I can in between that line, and so I'll push the inner part like this. And once you start sewing, you'll notice that the fabric might not move, so you would need your you use your fingers to like put pressure so the beginning of the fabric would feed into the machine. Okay, and as I sew, I will use my hand to adjust the fabric properly, so I get a clean finishing. And this is how clean it came out. So this is the right side, very clean, and on the inside is also very neat. Next, I'll sew down the belt hook, and I would link a video if you'd like to sew a buttonhole I'll link a video which you could watch to learn how to sew a buttonhole, or you could use hook and eye. Thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.